back to our channel. I'm Nikki.
I'm Rachel and we're the Stick Sisters.
In this video we're going to be covering colour, everything from your jet blacks to your bright reds.
So we're going to move on to talking about colour now.
Yes.
And the easiest way to do that is we actually asked Minerva to send us one from each colour in the Mind the Maker range.
You've got the last one. I think we've got 5 of them.
Is here. I think it's this one.
Is it the black?
One.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So this is basically a denim range that is. I know.
You
I'm
fold
sorry.
my lovely fabric.
No, you should see my washing pile. In fact, my teenage son folds the washing at the moment, so you can imagine. And I had to go hunting for socks in my son's drawer the other day because I couldn't find a single pair of socks, and he'd basically given all the socks in the family to his brother.
It was quicker, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll just hold them up so that you can see them. So these are all exactly the same denim from Mind the Maker, and the reason why we ordered them, as Rachel said, was because we wanted to see that colour difference as you go all the way through from the bleached right the way through to the black.
Yes.
So the bleached one I think is really interesting because you can actually still see the blue fibres here. So I'll hold it up and you can see that that definitely has a blue tinge, at least I hope it does. In comparison,
if you compare it to this one,
yeah,
which is, you know, just it doesn't have any indigo in it, you can definitely still see blue in there,
yeah,
although it's been mainly bleached out of it.
Yes, but I like the fact that it's just got that little bit, and they would still fade, of course, exactly as they would with any other pair of jeans.
Yeah.
So they would probably get lighter as you wore them and washed them.
Yeah.
But that's the lightest one, and that's the.
It's just called
bleach blue,
light bleach or something.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to illustrate is that most denim starts off at this indigo colour. Okay?
That's your true indigo.
That's your true indigo, and that's kind of where we start. And there are lots of processes that you can go through to create those lighter shades of blue.
Yeah.
Now this range has used bleaching. So that's quite a common thing that you see. We try to look into what type of bleaching because there is more traditional bleaching, and then there's the latest enzyme bleaching, which is more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
We couldn't find any information about which kind this was. But how much bleach you add and how long you soak it in the bleach for is going to determine the colour that you end up with.
Yes.
So what's interesting is that this starts off this colour and ends up this colour.
Yes.
Obviously, with these two in
between.
But there are other ways of changing the colour of denim, and another one is stonewashing.
Yes.
And stonewashing is something that is exactly what it sounds like. The fabric is washed with stones. So we wouldn't recommend that you sweep up your gravel dryers and pour it into your washing machine to stonewash your own
They do
denim.
it in big industrial machines, don't they? And it's done on a mass scale.
Yes.
And then that gives the variety throughout the denim. So you'll get some areas which are more stonewashed and others which are not, because you're doing it on a mass scale.
So we know friction removes that indigo dye because it's only on the outside of the fibres. So the stones just cause that friction, and in the process of the fabric being churned around, obviously it's removing some of that dye. So again, you get lighter shades of stonewashing depending on how many times it's been stonewashed. So if it just gets stonewashed once, you might end up with a medium blue, and if it gets stonewashed several times, you could end up with something almost as light as this bleached one.
Yes.
So it's up to you which one you choose. In terms of their environmental impact, there isn't really one that's any better than the other. Jeans in general use a lot of water, that's the reality of it. We personally think that's why making your own and really taking the time to research them and making jeans that will last is the most sustainable thing that you can do, as opposed to keep buying new ones. But you know, the different processes involved, it is kind of best of a bad bunch, we'll be totally honest. None of them are environmentally sound,
no.
But that, you know, they are a staple. As long as you get a lot of wear out of them, I think that,
which
we have to
hopefully
accept.
you will. Yeah, absolutely.
Still good to be aware though.
Yes.
So this is just a good example of the different colours. Now it gets confusing when people decide what they're going to call their denims. So this one, for instance, is called cream, but we've also seen it called ecru.
Yes.
We've seen it called off-white. We've seen it called natural.
Yeah.
Lots of those kind of
and
things.
then you'll get one that's this light
Yes.
and one which is this light, both called bleached. Now they are both technically bleached.
Yes.
So it just depends how bleached it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, and then you've got people referring it to as light blue, you've got medium blue, you've got mid blue, and it's very hard to tell. So if you can, when you're shopping online, if there is a range, then always look at those colours in relation to each other.
Yes.
Because what you might think is the lightest one might not be when you have a look at the rest of the
Yeah.
range. But again, it's another reason to order samples if you're looking for a specific colour.
And hopefully, if there is a range of colours, you will see the graduation as we have here from that initial indigo, which would have been where they started, and then through the dyeing or the bleaching or the enzyme washing or however they've done it to get to the lightest shade, because they would have stopped at various points.
Yes, absolutely.
And gone, so that's our first shade, and then we'll do it a bit more, then that's our second shade, and gone from there.
Yes, absolutely.
So it makes sense that way.
So then you also have black denim.
Ooh.
Black denim works a little bit differently. So we've got a couple of examples here. So one of these in the range is black.
This one is the jet black, which
Yes.
you can see is a jet black.
But you can also, I'm guessing this is raw, so that is an organic raw denim, and this is a wash denim. So that's why you've got a difference in the actual texture, but also the colour, because you can see the white fibre starting to come through here. And the reason for that is because it's been washed, so it's quite simple. But the dyeing process is slightly different, because to get black denim, they actually add sulphur to the dye. So it sometimes can still have indigo in it, and that's where you get that blue black.
Yes.
But sometimes it's just 100% sulphur, which is where you get that kind of jet black.
So I'm just trying to see, we did have one that was quite a blue black.
We've got so many options.
There's so many options.
And they all look different in different light. I think that's a blue black.
That's a
isn't it?
blue black, yeah, that's right. But
So-
this one, I think this one has been made using all black fibres.
Yeah.
This one has no white in it whatsoever. So the waft and the weft fabric.
Yes.
Waft and weft threads have all been black.
Yes.
And you can tell that because on the inside it's exactly the same colour as the
And
outside.
this is white on
And
the
that's
inside,
white on
or
the
lighter.
inside.
You can see the weft fibres.
I'm actually very impressed with this, because I don't think I've ever seen a black which is quite so jet black as this one.
It's brilliant.
And it's
I'm
a
excited
really
to
nice
see how
fabric.
that one comes out of the wash.
Yes, and I think it has come out quite
Really?
the same.
Exciting.
So that's quite exciting. You'll see that in the next video. But this is Mind the Maker Organic Raw, so this is raw again. But I do like that one. That's a 458, which is about 13 ounces.
Yeah.
So that's the blacks.
Yes, and then obviously you've got your coloured
Yeah.
denims that we talked about, and sulphur is also used in the process of adding colour. But again, you've got the two different processes depending on whether they've used the white in the weft, which they have on both of these because they're lighter on the black, or whether all of the fibres are coloured like the jet black is, because you do see that sometimes on coloured denims. So there is something called cast in dye, and it's basically like the hue, if you like. So the indigo blue, when it has red added, gives you, it's very subtle tones.
Yeah.
But Levi's denim is kind of considered to have that red cast. Sometimes it's green and sometimes it's more blue.
That's where you'll get unusual colours like that one.
Yeah.
And then this one I think is quite yellowy when you actually
I think
see
that
it.
one definitely has like a green cast.
Yeah,
to it,
maybe
'cause
it's green.
Yeah.
But you can only see that when you actually sort of see the fabric up close. It's not something you'd be able to tell unless you're really looking for it, but it will give you those unusual shades of blue. So this, which is more of a cornflower?
I think so, yeah, I'm not sure. Like bright blue. Bless you. Oh, bless you. Wow. That was a good one.
Sorry.
So the reason we're sharing this with you is only because it's things that we've learned and we thought it might be interesting. But realistically, when it comes to buying denim online, you're not going to, no fabric supplier is going to tell you what cast it has. It's just a case of, and it will be their description of the colour. If you're looking for a very specific colour of denim, you're always better off getting samples. But hopefully this will at least give you an example of the scope, the range of different fabrics available.
Absolutely.
Both of these ranges come in about 10, maybe even 20 different colours.
Yeah.
So we just got a couple of examples here, but there are lots and lots of different colours. If you want a teal, or you want a bright yellow, or you want a pink, or
These are they're more hard to come by. So this range, is this the Minerva range? as
They're
Minerva
both
Core.
Minerva, and they're both stretch denims.
They're both stretch denims. So coloured denims are difficult to get. So Minerva have obviously got their own range here. But what we were talking about the other day is that coloured denims are huge in the shops. But I just don't think that the actual fabrics have filtered down into the dressmaking community yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully we will start, maybe next year or the year after, we'll start seeing a better range of coloured denims which are raw, or coloured denims which are non-stretched, so that we've got much more availability for us as a home sewer.
Yes.
But they've just not arrived yet, not that we
not
can
yet.
see.
We'll get there. We'll get